All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we are going to be checking out some red purple Luffy action. That's right. I just can't get enough of the new ST18 purple Straw Hat cards, and the direction for purple Straw Hats in the future with OP09 just looks absolutely incredible, guys. Like, it just looks so good, and it's just fun to play. I'm not gonna lie. But today we're going to be checking out Red Purple Luffy, and I'm going to be messing around with a package that is running the new Straw Hat stuff from OP08.5. Okay, so let me give you a quick layout what we're getting into today. Excuse me, not a whole lot, not like a, this is going to be probably a shorter video than my normal videos. And one more thing I do want to mention before we get into this is, guess what? In about, 2 days from the time we record this video, school starts again over where I live, over on the East Coast. So I will be back into teaching. I'm just going to be doing substitute teaching this go around. It's going to give me more time to dedicate to videos, making videos on the channel and everything compared to what I was doing full-time teaching. But hey, with that being said, I will still be, how do I say this? I will probably be releasing videos a little bit later than usual going forward. That's what I mentioned, all that to, to tell you guys that I'll still be putting out a video every single day. However, it's probably going to be, like, usually the time period that I release a video is somewhere between, like, 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern. Now it's probably going to go back an entire hour or two, where it's going to be, like, 6 to 7 p.m. or 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern is when my average release time will probably be going forward. Maybe not. I'll still try to get them all out around 5, but, it is what it is, right? That's just how scheduling works. Excuse me. Okay. Well, let's hop into this video, guys. Let me give you a quick rundown of what we're going to be doing. First, we're going to hop over to the lab and check out a game of Red Purple Law versus Enel. That's going to be a community-submitted video. Very fun. We'll check that out. I have not seen it yet. That should be very interesting. And then from there, we will go straight over to the games on the sim of the 4 Red Purple Luffy games I have prepared for us today from OP08.5. And then we will check out the deck list that I'm running. I'll give you my final thoughts and all that good stuff. All right, so you know what you're getting into, guys. No surprises. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and dive into it. And of course, I'll have everything timestamped down in the general description, and I'll have all relevant links and deck lists in the comment section below. All right, let's do this, guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Let me move the leader slide. There we go. All right, and here we go. Off to the races. The volume is off. The speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. All right, so first game up here from the lab. This is a, let me pause and explain real quick. This is a community-submitted video, okay? This is not me playing. If you're interested in me reviewing your video, or your gameplay, I should say, all you have to do is record it using a program like OBS, which is a free downloaded, or a free recording program for a computer. Record your video, upload it to your YouTube, and then you can go over to the Discord, the VB Theory Discord, my Discord, and I have a actual channel called Review My Game. You put the link in there. You can make it private where no one else can see it except the people who have the link, and then I will throw it in line. And guys, I've got like 5 pages, of people to go through. I don't know if y'all can see that very well, but I've got 5 pages of people to go through. So this segment has been really nice for the channel. I think it's been a lot of fun and very educational. Okay, excuse me, had to get that out of the way. Now back to the game. Let me hit play. Like I said, we've got Red Purple Law versus Yellow Enel. This is a very interesting matchup that is very much dependent on triggers in a lot of situations, but at the same time, when you're playing cards like Hiyori in this list looks very interesting. I don't remember if all of them are running Hiyori or not. Maybe some are. I can't remember. Because let me hit pause for a second. The 2K counter package for Enel is typically like Flampe, Beige, and Frankie, what we see right down there at the bottom. But maybe instead of running Flampe, they're running Hiyori so they can set up really important triggers later in the game. So, very good stuff there. Excuse me. So right here, we do get the Shirahoshi here from the trigger because they set it there, and now they're going to be able to draw 3 trash 2, and they're going to be able to get off to a very good start this game. Red Purple Law versus Enel is probably a pretty classic matchup at this point. If you're at the upper tables, if you're watching tournaments, these are 2 very strong meta matchups. Okay, so they go ahead and bottom deck the Hiyori. That was a mistake for sure. So just so everyone is aware, Red Purple Law can bottom deck based off of power, so it can hit either one of these. And you do not hit Hiyori in this situation. You every time, always, without fail, without exception, you bottom deck the Shirahoshi. Because when we get to 8 Dawn, if they end up top, if we end up dropping, if the Enel player ends up dropping an 8-cost Katakuri to gain a life and it's Shirahoshi, the win percentage goes up drastically. It's just unbearable, to be honest. Okay, So they play out the Shirahoshi. That is a small play mistake, but it is still a play mistake, at least in my personal opinion. Because what is the Shirahoshi going to do, right? Like, that becomes the question. What is Shirahoshi going to do in this situation? Or, excuse me, the Hiyori. Okay, so right here, going to minus 3k to the power of the Luffy. Use the leader effect to bottom deck that Luffy and cheating out a Reiju. All right, or excuse me, cheating. They played out a Reiju, then they cheated. Then they were able to cheat out a Sanji. So that was interesting. I don't think I agree with that. Like, hang on one second. They have 5 cards. Oh, wait. Yes, okay, that was fine. I'm sorry. I thought they did not draw from that effect. I thought they did not draw for the Reiju. They did, and then they're going to cheat out the Sanji now that they're at two or more less dawn than their opponent. So there's Katakuri, just like we were just talking about. Nice, and we got a Frankie. So that's going to be the next bottom deck target. And if I had to, I have not seen this game, guys. If I had to predict how this game is going to go, they're probably going to put the Shirahoshi back to life, and that's going to be disgusting. But we'll have to see. Like I said, I have not seen how this game goes. We'll have to see what happens. I don't know who wins or anything. Yep, just gobble up this board. 5 into that guy, and then 5 more with your leader. Yep, and then actually we probably could have done more. Okay, pause for 1 second. They want to play out this card here. If the red purple law player knows what they're doing, they need to just take their own life here. So bear with me. I think we should have swung 5 and then 7 into one of these characters, like. Or actually 6 and 6, because they had a Sanji. I don't understand why they didn't block with Sanji. I'm actually so confused. So Red Purple Law has a definite play mistake here. Red Purple Law should have blocked that 5k hit from the what's his name, from the Enel, the leader, and it was a free block. But instead they chose to counter out. And then on top of that, but let me go back even further. I think what we should have done there was swing 6k into Shashi and Penguin, and then 6k into Reiju. If they counter out of either of them, that's actually fine, because then we follow up with the Gadatsu, popping one of their characters that survived. You see what I'm saying? Because they had 3 4-cost characters we could have chosen from. Okay, so now they're going to play out Lin Lin, and they're going to take life. I can almost guarantee this. This is a very rough situation for Enel. Yeah. So this might be, the writing's on the wall here. This might be game over for Enel. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I have no idea. Okay, well, at least they're going to go into the board. Hey, we appreciate that. Yeah, let that card go every time. Okay, and then, I'm sorry? Okay, was that a play mistake? Did I miss something? Okay, I feel like I missed something, but something didn't happen there that should have. That should have just been, okay, hang on, go back. Why do we even care about this, this guy right here? Why do we even care about this Frankie? I mean, sure, swing 5 into the Frankie, but you can swing 5 into the Frankie 4 times. Like 5 with leader, 5 with Reiju, 5 with Shashi and Penguin, 5 with the other Reiju, and then you're sitting on a blocker. You have 4 other cards in hand. By the way, we should have more than 4 cards in hand, because they should have just blocked out that last attack. So a lot of play mistakes. Let's bring out the chess accuracy meter real quick. We have some inaccuracies or mistakes here. I wouldn't necessarily call it a blunder, because you don't have to swing. Hey, you know, they don't want to give the Enel any triggers. You could argue it's like a way to play around triggers, but you have to attack eventually. And the way this turn could have gone was all 5s into the Frankie, right? Just all 5s into Frankie, and then from there, it's pretty much a wrap, right? Like it's pretty much game over, because they can swing everything else into our face. And you could just, you will have to use counters, of course. It's not just over immediately. But just giving up this turn like this was an absolute... I would actually call it a blunder. I'm not going to lie. I think I would call this a blunder. Okay. All right, so let me move the accuracy meter, and here we go. All right, yep, let that go. Sure. And then no attack. I cannot believe what just happened there. I understand not using the leader effect on Red Purple Law, but not attacking is wild to me. Like, it is wild to me. Yep, swing 5, swing 8. These are both going through, and here we go. Now we have 2 life. Now we're okay. Cool. You hit us. They did hit us with a 4-cost law, but it's not a big deal, right? Like that's not too bad. So Enel's looking really good here. Swing 5 in, 1k counter out. Yep, because that Gadatsu is no good now. We get another Frankie. It's over. Yeah. So I think there was a turn. Oh my gracious! And we get the Onami trigger, and we're gonna replace that life. This is a really bad sign for the Red Purple Law player. Gonna go ahead and trash this card here. And get that. Okay, swing for 6, give him a 2k. Okay, or take it. I would have actually given him a 2k there, because that was extremely dangerous. But we can still counter out like that. Very nice. Okay, so it's game over. It's I know y'all can't see it, but the video is about to end. Let me just hit pause. It looks like they're going to concede right here. Yep. So Here's my issue with what the Red Purple Law player did there. Very well played by the Enel player. I think he did absolutely fine. There's a few things I would have done differently, like that turn with Gadatsu that I mentioned. But, you know, not a big deal. The Red Purple Law player, though, had some massive play mistakes, arguably blunders. Especially the turn where they did not swing. And let me go back and see if they say oops or something in the chat. Because they swing 9 into Frankie right here and pass the turn. It's like, why would you not, like the way that I would deal with this turn, depending on what's in my hand, we know he has a Zoro, right? Unless he top decked it for this last turn here. We know he has a Zoro, potentially. I would just go all 5s and 6s at face. Get all of these 2K counters out of hand, and now you're putting your opponent on a 1-turn clock, where it's like, hey, you just lost like 4 cards from your hand, and we're going to go from there. You know what I mean? And hey, he's going to get these triggers no matter what anyway, right? Like, these triggers are coming. And right here, just passing like that, I'm sorry, there's no way that that was the right play in my personal opinion. And then going from there, like he pops your board, and then let's see what the triggers were. So remember, he wouldn't have this top trigger. Watch what the top trigger is. It is a Frankie. He wouldn't have the Frankie. He would only have this last one, and look at what it was. It was a Onami, so that would have popped one of your characters. That's fine, because remember, we were going to swing 4 times, right? We had two Reijus and a Shashi and Penguin. The Red Purple Law player did. Okay, and then let's see what the last... I'm glad they took this last hit so we get to see what it was. Swing for 6, and the last hit was a dead card. So it wouldn't even have mattered. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just would not have even mattered. Even if it was a Frankie, it wouldn't have mattered. Because we've already swung with all this, and now we can load everything up and start smashing it again with our other cards. I don't know. I personally think that it was a play mistake not attacking on the previous turn for the Red Purple Law when his board looked like this. Right here. This is when he didn't attack. And swinging the 5 into the Frankie, I don't care about Frankie. I have 3 life. Like, typically speaking, Enel's not going to try to rush your life down. You know what I mean? So for the Red Purple Law player, left a lot to be desired there in that play. But hey, that's why we do these videos, so we can learn together, and I can show you guys what I see as, like, you know, this is just my perspective of what I immediately see as being play mistakes, and that can be improved on in the future. Okay? Well, that was a fun one. All right, y'all give me just 1 second to get set up here. Let me black out the screen. Move my face over. There we go. Actually, I probably shouldn't. I shouldn't even move my face over. Let me move it back. Hang on 1 second, guys. All right, and now we are going to go over to the sim again. Like I said, this is probably going to be a shorter video than normal for me because I do try to rush the weekend videos. All right, there we go. So now we got some Red Purple Luffy action. Okay, I will show the deck list at the end of the video, so bear with me there, and everything will be time-stamped anyway if you just want to skip to it. So here we go, guys. We've got Red Purple Luffy. I do have to adjust my camera a little bit more. There we go, right there. I like that. That's fine. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and we're good to go. So here we go. Red Purple Luffy versus Green Yellow Yamato. Now, I think these first 2 games are a little bit rough, but don't worry, the last 2 are much better. I've got 4 games for us lined up for today. Notice my hand, guys. I've got the new... let me go ahead and pause this for a second. Everyone knows Rad Beam. By the way, that is a Straw Hat card, guys. Radical Beam is a Straw Hat searchable card. Now, you cannot search it up with the purple Zoro because he can only search for purple Straw Hat cards. But he can even search for himself, which is nice. But that Gum Gum Jet Gatling, the purple 0 cost, that is also a Straw Hat card, guys. So everything in my hand is Straw Hat right now. I've got 2 2K counters and then the Sanji, and then I've got the big 10 cost Luffy, the Gear 5 Time Warp Luffy. Okay, so they go ahead and load up for 8 and swing at me here. I go ahead and give him a 0 cost, and I trash the 10 cost to get to 3K to get around that. Because, you know, Red Purple Luffy only has 3 life. Normally, I would say it's good to take that, but Red Purple Luffy only has 3 life. If I take two hits, I lose 66% of my life, right? So here he goes. He's going to swing for 8 with Banish this time. It's like, nope, 2K. I'm not letting him have that because I would lose 2 cards from hand anyway, you know, or 2 cards from my life in that way. Okay, so swing for 7 at face. Let's see what he gets. Hopefully no triggers. That was the only thing I think that could help this Yamato at this point, like given the situation of him whiffing 2 attacks like that, and me establishing 2 solid bodies, and I have a 2K counter Rad Beam waiting. The only thing that could have helped him in this situation is if he had gotten a trigger. Which, hey, sometimes that's what it comes down to, right? That's how it is against yellow. Yeah, they call it a slot machine for a reason. I'm countering out of everything. He's going to swing 7 into 6 here, and I'm not letting him have that either. I'm pretty sure I remember him swinging 7 into 6 here. I'm like, no, I'm just not letting you have anything. I'm going to take this board back next turn, and that's going to be that. You know what I mean? We're going to go to the late game now. So right here, I should go up to 9 Dawn, I believe. Yep, go up to 9 Dawn so I can play out the new gate. Unfortunately, I can't play out the... so right here, I swing for 5 because I get the Dawn back for free anyway. And then right here, I swing for 6. And then right here, I'm going to play out the Edward Newgate, and I believe I was going to go 7 into the ace. Yeah. 8, excuse me, 8. I can't count. So swing 8 into 7. It's gone. And I believe, unfortunately, they just give up right here coming up. Hang on one second. I don't mean to spoil it. But like I said, these first 2 games are kind of iffy. But we're at least going to analyze the final board state. Okay, 5 and a 4. You can have that card. I don't need that. Okay, and now let's see what he does. If he swings in for 2, I'm actually fine with it here because I'm about to demolish this board, right? Like I'm about to demolish board or face here. Swing for 6. I can't save that. Okay, I have a 2K counter in hand. I have this. So what was going to happen here, excuse me, is I was going to attach 2 Dawn to my guy, to my Edward Newgate, and I'm just going straight to face, right? Like we're just going to go straight to face here, and that's going to pop the Onami. And then from there, I'm actually just going to load up because I have to save counter power in my hand. Because I know he probably has a Hody Jones, and look at that, he does have a Hody Jones. So I have to sit on a 2K, 1K in hand, and look at what was coming out of my life, by the way. This next turn, my opponent would have been at 5, 7. He'd have been at 9. So he could have swung for... The most he could have swung with his leader for was... and that's with the demonic edge sword, whatever it's called. I can't, that 2-cost buff card in his hand. The most he could have swung for on his leader would have been 2, 3. It would have been 8, right? But I'm a 6K leader, so I could have got to 9. And as long as I get out of that one attack, and that, I'm assuming he's playing Hody Jones, by the way. Like that's why I say that. I'm assuming he's going to play Hody Jones here. And if he had, then I could have gotten out of the 8K double strike attack, and then he can't win, and then I win on the next turn. So good stuff there. Like I said, that turn I was not going to be using either of these cards from hand. I can't afford it, you know what I mean? Because after doing the math, I'm like, okay, the most he can swing for is an 8K attack, because he's only going to be on 9 Dawn. 7 for Hody Jones, 2 Dawns left, buff himself +3 with, I was thinking 200 million volts Amaru. That only gets him to 8, and I get to 9. So I just demolished the board here, go face, put him on a 1-turn clock. Okay, all right, next game. That was a fun one. Like I said, unfortunately, that was a shorter game, but that's because, like I said, I think the opponent knew, like, it was pretty much over. Even though I had no counter coming from life. That's why you shouldn't give up, guys. I had 0 counter coming from life. Okay, next up, we got a game of Rob Lucci. Excuse me. So I turned the sounds off. I turned the speed to 2x, and we're good to go. So red purple Luffy versus Lucci. Right here, I get a nice start. I am running the 1-cost Searcher for Straw Hats just to have a good turn 1 play. That can get me into a nice turn 2 play with the 3-cost Zoro. Unfortunately, I didn't see that. But here we go. We'll go 5, and we'll go 6. We'll start getting cards out of hand. We're off to the races, right? We're off to the races already. They're down to 4 cards in hand now after doing whatever they just played out. The Spandam. I believe that one whiffed because they still only have 4 cards in hand. Then they smash in there. I do take it because I don't have any 2K counters. I have bricked. My hand is completely bricked right now. Like, this is very, very unfortunate. So draw 2, trash 1 with the queen. I don't like playing queen this early, but at least it's something because look how bricked my hand is, guys. Like, it's crazy. I think in this deck list, let me pause it. In this deck, I think I run 3 of the 9-cost Newgates. I run 2 of the 7-cost Eustace Kids, and I think I run 4 of the 7-cost Luffy Taro. And I have seen all of them. I pretty much have all of them in my hand and not a single 2K counter. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to block here. He's going to load up for 6. I think I'm going to have to counter out with a queen here. You know, honestly, looking back, I almost think I should have just taken it. But, oh well. So we do a top 5 search here. We're going to go ahead and snag a Sanji here, I think, or the blocker or the Zoro. Any of these 3 are fine, to be honest. But I think I'm just trying to play it out and still be able to attack. Okay, so right here, I have to leave Dawn open for my Rad Beams. So I swing for 7. I go ahead and play out the Zoro. He countered out and messed up. I think he was setting the cards in his trash that he needed for Gekko Mori this turn. I could be wrong, but let's see what he does here. I play out the Zoro, and I have 1 Dawn active, right? I have 1 Dawn active for a Rad Beam just so I can't get punked this turn. Okay, he goes ahead. I think that must have been a play mistake last turn, him trashing those 2 cards. He plays out the Sanji. Seems good, but I'm going to swing 8 into 5 here. Playing out the Newgate, I'm like, okay, I need a little bit of breathing room, and I can play a back-to-back Newgates, which is nice. Okay. Let's see what happens here. I didn't check, guys. I'm not going to go backwards, but I didn't check if I used my leader effect. I definitely should have if I did not. I'm pretty sure I did, though. I think I was on 8 Dawn last turn, and I had 6 Dawn last turn, and this let me get to 8. Or to 9, guys. I can't even count right now, the math. Okay, so they swing in for 5. They're just filling up their trash. They get my Newgate down to a 3, and now they should be able to easily pop it with the Kaku. Yep, that card's insane. Very good. Pops that, and now I am still up against the ropes here. He's going to swing for 13. I'm going to take it. Now I am at least on 10 Dawn, where I can play out a Newgate, have a little bit of breathing room, be able to smash it with my leader, and sit on a Rad Beam and potentially try to win next turn. Like, that's kind of what's going through my head right now. Is, okay, I'm in a lot of trouble here. Like, that's what's going through my head right now. It's like, wow, I'm in a lot of trouble here. I am at least an 8,000 power leader. I do have a 2K and 2 1Ks in hand. I have 1 life. I have a Rad Beam. It's not game over yet, right? Like, it's not just over yet. Okay, so they play out the Gecko Moria, and I don't know what they wanted to do here. I think they were trying, yeah, so they replaced the Helmeppo so they could play out the Helmeppo. They do that, -3, -3. But I caught a break here, because look what our opponent did. Can you guys spot the issue? I was mousing over it in the game there. They forgot to use their stage. My opponent forgot to use their stage to slow me down, to KO my my Newgate. But hey, sequencing is everything in this game, and I will take the break, right? I will absolutely take that break right there, because I needed it. So right here, he's going to swing for 9, and he just forfeits. So unfortunately, like I said, these first 2 games, they're kind of wonky, but don't worry, the last 2 are pretty decent. But hey, I'm not gonna lie though, guys. I've seen it happen in real life. It's not like it doesn't happen, but yeah, the best players do not make mistakes like that. But hey, I've messed up the same way and got a mistake. And look at that, by the way, guys. I know some people might be saying like, okay, I got lucky there, but let's be honest. How lucky did my opponent get with me seeing all 4 Luffys this game? Like, look at that. In my life, my last card is a Luffy, and I've already trashed 1 Luffy from an effect earlier to get down to 4. Yeah, or to get down to the 2 I have left in my hand. Like, that was just crazy, man. Excuse me. And the game was not over. Remember, like I said, I have 2 1Ks, a 2K in hand. Look at my next card as a queen. Yes, my Edward Newgate would be gone right now, but hey, like I said, I'll have a Rad Beam left for this turn, and the game was not completely over yet. That's all I'm trying to say. The Lucci player probably would have won this game, just being honest, if he had not made that massive play mistake. But hey, you make the play mistake, it is what it is. I've made them too. They've cost me games, you know, but we at least got to call it out. Okay. Let's play another game versus Lucci, and this is not the same player. This is not the same opponent. They had totally different names. I have no idea who any of these players are. I don't play against anyone that I know like that. Okay, play testing that I do is like more in private if I'm play testing against a friend. So here we go. I'm going to swing in for 6 here. Hang on, let me pause it. Did I put the speed on 2x? I think I just did. I always forget right when I do it. And the volume's off. We're good to go. Okay. So I play out the Zoro. They're, of course, going to be able to pop it right on turn 1, of course, or turn 2, of course. You know, turn 1 stage, turn 2 Lucci seems good. I'm going to swing in for 6 here. Excuse me, I'm going to swing in for 6. And let's see what they do here. I'm just waiting for them to do something. They actually take it. I play out the Sangoro, or the Sanji. 5 cost 6K Sanji, guys, with a 1K counter. And if he attacks, excuse me, when he attacks, if you have 8 or more Dawn, you actually can draw a card. So right here, they don't have a way to KO it. I'm feeling pretty good about that. But here we go. I'm down to 1 life already, by the way, guys. I'm already down to 1 life. So let's swing 6 into this guy. He's going to give me a counter. Let's swing 6 more into him. He's going to block it. Seems good. I play out the Luffy and cheat out the Jinbei without effect. Very strong. That is a blocker. So he swings it for 6. I really want to give him... I want to counter out of this. I feel like... So I give him the 2K counter. I wanted to give him the queen there, but I didn't want to give him the queen as well, because I want to draw 2 trash 1. I want to get through cards in my hand and have extra blockers and all that good stuff. So he plays out the jack there, cheats out and KOs my guy. I think I have a slight play mistake this turn. Y'all bear with me. So right here, I use my leader effects, go up a Dawn. I swing 6 into 6 here. Let's see what he gives me. Okay. Yeah, as I say, I think I swing 6 here as well. I'm just getting every card out of his hand. So that card's gone. Right here, I swing 8 into 8. I was hoping he wouldn't have any counter left, but he did have a counter left. It's fine. We're at least at 5,000. We're at 8,000 power now on our leader. So we're in a very good spot currently. Okay, of course, Lucci can just remove everything every single turn. It's pretty obnoxious, but yep, they can do that. He'll swing for 5 into 6 here. He still has 8 Dawn left. I wonder what he's going to do next. Okay, Gecko Moria. What do you know? Now, he does get greedy right here, I believe. I believe he gets greedy right here and actually messes up. So watch this. So he's trying to pop the entire field. And I don't know if he just didn't do the math right, but he goes, okay, all of my characters are 2s right now, right? So he can only pop 1 character with that Lucci interaction, and then he can only pop 1 character with Jack. but he's not attacking my face, and one of my characters is going to survive. So let's see what he does here. He gets rid of my card draw. Smart. Get rid of the Newgate. Smart. I'm left with a blocker that's just whatever. Okay, well, right here, we don't have a lot of options, right? Like, we don't have a lot of things we can do here. We have to just play to our best out, right? We have to play to our best ability. We can fill up the board pretty well here. He has no cards in hand, so whatever I attack with is going through. He has to let the Lucci go, or else I get a free KO on his jack. He has to let Lucci go here. He determines that. This seemed like a pretty competent opponent. He's like, okay, I don't want to give it to you, but I guess I'm going to have to. And he does. And because if he had not done that, I'm swinging 8 into jack every time. You can have the Lucci, bud. You can have the Lucci. I just need to get rid of jack. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I think I do have to time warp here. It is what it is. Go ahead and return that back. Use my leader effect. Use the character effect. I'm going to swing. So I messed up there. Okay. So pause. I think I should have played out Nami and just swung for 6 because he can't block it, right? He can't. If he blocks it, he's just in trouble, right? I should have played out the Nami and just gone 6 to face. That was a play mistake. It is what it is. You know, I have to live with that one. Okay, so now I use the character effect again, the 10 cost effect, and I get another Dawn. I'm going to swing 12 into 8, and he lets it go. When he let it go, I was actually very surprised. I was like, okay, all right. I will take a Rad Beam here, I believe. Actually, I already have one Rad Beam, so I could have imagined like not playing it out. But right here, I really wanted like a 3-cost Sanji or something to hold down the board. We'll swing in for 7. We'll sit on double Rad Beam. I'm not risking losing this game here. He gets a 6 King Pistol trigger. For those who are not aware, 6 King Pistol is a 0-cost event that you can trash a card from hand and get a 3K counter. But it has a trigger that has draw 1 card, period. Then you may KO a 1-cost or lower character on the field of your opponent's characters. So that was actually a very solid card. He got to draw a card, KO my Nami, and you know, cycle through in that way. That was actually very nice. Okay, Tempest Kick, -2, -3. They can always just remove anything they want to, guys. I mean, that's just, it is what it is with Lucci. Swinging for 10. I'm going to give him a Rad Beam and a 1K. Or I might have to give him a 2K because I don't want to give him Queen. Okay, let's see what he does. Okay, he's loading everything up. Swing for 12. I'm going to have to take this one. But he was not able to remove my Luffy, which was a very big deal. All right, right here, I have to do some math here because I can use this character's effect. I'm going to swing 12 into 9, see what he gives me. He's probably going to give me the blocker here. I would not just let him have my my Gecko Moria like that. Okay, just waiting to see what my opponent does. Yep, that's the right call. I mean, I don't know that it was in their hand. If they had double 2K counter, maybe that was the right call, but I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt that was the right play. Just, you know, trashing your whole hand to save that, because then I could have done something else this turn maybe. Okay, so I go ahead and play out this guy here. I think this was a slight play mistake. Let me see something. So it was a play mistake. What I should have done there is use the leader effect first when I was at 8 Dawn. And then, or excuse me, hang on. There's a way where I could have done this turn. Bear with me. Let me go back to the beginning of this turn, because it is actually relevant. So this turn right here, I have 7 Dawn, right? What I should have done was use this character's effect to go to 8. Then, talking about the character, the 10 cost 12K, you can pay 1 and ramp a Dawn, right? And it comes into play active. So I would still have 7 Dawn to work with, but it would put me at 8 Dawn. Then I could use my leader effect to go to 9 Dawn, and then I do have completely 8 Dawn to work with for the turn. So just to give a heads up, guys, that was a small play mistake for those who are not aware. A small play mistake, but a play mistake nonetheless. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So I don't want to just load everything up and try to take out the Gecko Moria, because I have 0 life, right, guys? Like I don't have any life cards left. I want to have at least 1 blocker, so that way if he tries something crazy here, I can at least try to stop him. I swing him for 7. So now he has a choice. What is he going to do? He's going to play out the 2K counter to pop my blocker, and he is going for broke this turn. Okay, so swinging in for 10. I have a Rad Beam, like we already knew. 10K, 4K plus 1K gets me out of that. He's swinging in for 9, and I have what is needed, 2K, 1K, and that is game. That was a good one. That was a much better example of what the deck can do compared to the last game of Lucci, because that guy kind of quit prematurely after making a very large play mistake. All right, we got one more game, guys. Let's check this out. This is versus Red Blue Marco, so a little bit of OP08.5 action. They're all OP08.5, by the way. Like every one of these. 2x speed. Whoops, there we go. Full screen. We're good to go. All right, they're going to start off. So we, of course, never lucky. No turn 1 play. But hey, we do have a turn 2 play with Sanji. Or excuse me, with Zoro. Zoro Juro. So here we go. Swing in for 6. They're going to give me a 2K counter. I'm going to play out Sanji. I did it again. Zoro. I'm looking at the 2K counter Sanjis in my hand. That's why I'm saying that. I do apologize, guys. 6 into 6 here. Very, very annoying. I go ahead and take it. I'm like, you know what? Let me just turn on Rad Beam for later in the game. We're just going to take it right now. I'm not going to waste any more cards from my hand. I mean, they could have, like, done pudding next turn. Well, no, they couldn't do it this turn because they swung for 6, but still. All right, let's swing for 5 because we get that Dawn right back. That's what's so good about that Zoro, and he's a 1K counter later in the game. He's Straw Hat Search. Well, the card is excellent for our early game. I am up to 6 Dawn now. Let's see what our opponent does. They have to give me a card from hand. They're going to have to give me a life. They give me a 1K counter, which was also a rush card, a 6K rusher. We'll take that every time. Swing in for 7. Play out the new Zoro. I'm going to go ahead and grab my 10 cost guy here. I don't think there was any wrong choice in that entire equation, to be honest, guys. Like, I mean, I do already have a Jinbei. That's the one I would not choose, and I have a Zoro already on the field. But, like, those are still 1K counters in hand and potential blockers or mana or Dawn ramp cards. And then 2K counter Frankies. So, and then, of course, I went with the 10 cost card. I think those were almost all of them were fine. Everything, but I think the Jinbei would have been a decent choice, and Zoro would have been the second worst choice. All right, here we go. So they're going to use their leader effect to start, you know, cycling through their deck. -2 to the Zoro. Hey, he's gone. I'm not defending that. He already did his job. If you get just a single activation going first out of that Zoro, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's absolutely fine. Excuse me. He already did his job, and he ate up an attack. It's like he was a 1K counter on top of that or a blocker. They play out the Doflamingo here, but hey, I'm about to be on 9 Dawn next turn. And the way that I like to play, hey guys, just like I was explaining with that Zoro there, the way that I like to play Red Purple Luffy is ramp. Just ramp straight to my big characters and start plopping them down. Yep, right here. Now I do go, so hear me out. I go Eustace Kid first because I want to develop my board and then play into a new gate on a very strong turn and then make him, you know, overextend, and then I could swing everything out into the board and then follow up with the 10 cost Luffy. And I know that's how you're supposed to do it, but I'm just saying. So swing 7, leave 1 Dawn up, threatening a Radical Beam. I don't even have a Radical Beam. But hey, he doesn't know that, right? He doesn't know that. It's always good. One thing I have to mention, I'm 7,000 power on his turn, right, guys? Because of the Eustace Kids effect. It's always good to threaten a Radical Beam because it forces your opponent to play around that. Now, if it's like if it's a new player, okay, there's no point in playing around it, right? If you don't have it, don't like try to get them to play around it, because if it's a new player, they have no idea what you're doing. But if it's like a veteran player, a good player, if you tell him the whole game, like, hey, I've got a Rad Beam, buddy. I've got a Rad Beam. Like, here's my 1 Dawn that threatens it, or a Blast Breath, or something like that. They're going to be thinking about that every turn now. Okay, so right here, they're going to do the Edward Newgate. They're probably going to do -2,000 to the 4 cost Zoro. They'll be able to pop that very easily with their Edward Newgate. And then I will follow up the next turn, I believe, with an Edward Newgate. Okay, yep, that's the right call there. Honestly, I think, well, no, I guess swinging into me was a good call. I was going to say, I think it might have been better to just attack into that Zoro, and that way you don't have to tap down your Edward Newgate, because now I can attack into it pretty much for free, right? I'll swing for 8 here, Dawn -1. My leader is 9,000 power now, base, for the next turn, right? Use the leader effect there. I'm going to swing 10 into 8. He has to give me the blocker. I'm sitting on a 1 Dawn Rad Beam, and guess what I drew for the turn? I did actually draw a Rad Beam, right? So we're good. So again, my leader is 9,000 power now. I was able to swing into his board to get cards out of hand, as opposed to swinging into life and getting cards, you know, adding cards to his hand. You know what I mean? We don't want our opponent to have too many options. Swinging 8 into 6 here, yes, I can counter out of this, but we're clearing the board next turn. Right, guys? We're going to be clearing the board next turn or something along those lines. 8 into 9, I'll just take that, buddy. I'll take it because that does not go through. Does not work like that. Okay, so right here, I am trying to eat some cards up from him. We're going to swing 10 into 8. We'll get 2 cards out of his hand here. No problem. And then I think he actually counters out, guys. If I remember this game correctly, I think he actually counters out where I was like, oh dear. Wait a minute. This isn't good. Okay, play out the queen, draw 2, trash 1. We'll go ahead and trash 1. I have nothing but counters in hand. Right here, I need to remember to use my leader effect. Hang on 1 second. I'm just waiting on, you know. So I'm setting up next turn to just win the game. So he's at 1 life left. It is my opponent's turn now. I have 1 Dawn active with a Rad Beam. And I forgot, I could have swung for 1 more, but the attack went through anyway. That was just a mess up. That was just a blunder. Like, I should have just swung for 11, right? I should have just swung for 11. There's no reason not to. So what is my opponent going to do here? They can try to go for game, but how realistic is that? So what did they just do? Oh, they used the 7 cost guy to do that. So now I have 2 life. he only has 3 attacks, and I'm a 6K leader. So the first one I'm getting out of easily, 10K there, no problem. Okay, he swings for 9. I counter out for 10. I'm feeling pretty good about that. He's going to swing for 7. I'll probably end up taking this, because my plan next turn is actually to play out my 10 cost Luffy, right? Swing 10, swing 10. I'm going to take both. Actually, I don't think I should take this one. Yeah, I'm about to counter out. Give him the 0 cost 3K and a 2K counter. We're good. All right, now right here, I'm going at face. So I'm going to swing. Whoops, I almost messed that up. That would have been bad. So the right play here is just to swing 10, swing, I think 7, and then swing 12. Right? So swing 10. Let's see what he does. Takes it. That's not a good sign for our opponent, right? Now, he does get, okay, he does get a Seaquake trigger. For those who are not aware what that does, minus 3,000 power to a character or leader for the turn. It's like Bad Manners Kick Course trigger. So I was like, crap, okay, you know, that kind of messed up my plan a little bit, but it's not over yet. But then I do make one little play mistake we'll talk about here. So right here, okay, since I did minus 3,000, I did not see that when it happened in the game. Sometimes I miss when a trigger happens like that, just because I just miss it, like as a human, the way that the game is set up, especially if I'm listening to music or whatever on the side. No excuses, but I missed it. I should have just played out the Nami here and gone about my day. Because watch, I'm going to load up one Dawn, and be like, all right, swing 7. I'm like, wait, 4? Because I got hit with the Seaquake trigger. I just didn't see it. Okay, swinging for 12, GG. He pretty much had no way out of that, right? It was gonna be the way I should have done it was swing 9, swing 12, and that would have been a 2K, 1K, and there's no way he gets out of the 12. But anyway, all right, now let's check out the deck list, guys. This new package for for Purple Straw Hat Crew, I'm in love with it. Like, I absolutely love the way it plays out. Whoops, let me move my head down here. I am a huge fan. I am a huge fan of how this plays out. I just like how it has a good curve. It has a good, like, 1, 3, 5, whatever curve. The 2 curve is not, the even curve is not as good, but it doesn't matter. You still do your 1, 3, 5, 7, whatever curve, and then you also get 1 extra Dawn for the turn to maybe sit on a Rad Beam or attack extra with your leader. So, like, that part is excellent. This guy is actually very good at closing games since we can get the advantage we can get now. And now that there are more cards that support what he does, right? Sanji's a 3 cost 6K. It's a 2K counter. Straw Hat Searchable. It's a blocker. Like, this card now we can actually play. So think about how it goes. Like, the dream situation for dropping down Luffy, at least one of them, you know, there's many different ways you can do it. But let's say you drop down 10 cost Luffy, right? Use your leader effect to go to 1 Dawn. Use your character effect with that 1 Dawn to go to 2 Dawn. Swing however you need to. Pass the turn, right? Now you go to 4 Dawn. Now you use your leader effect, or excuse me, not your leader effect, your character effect to go to 5 Dawn, but you only have 4 Dawn, you know, to actually work with for the turn. Well, with that 4 Dawn, you drop down a Sanji. That's 3 of your Dawn. You have 1 Dawn left. You sit on a Rad Beam. If you don't have a Rad Beam, you do a search with Nami or something like that. Or just leave the 1 Dawn open, pretend you do. Maybe you'll draw it from your last life or something. And now you have your leader's 6K, you have a 10 cost 12K on the board, you have a blocker, and you have 1 Dawn open. So, like, that's like how the deck is meant to go into the late game, where, you know, after playing this card, it's not just a dead turn now, or you just lose. Because a lot of times, I've seen people play on the sim, they'll play out this card. Excuse me, I'm spitting everywhere. I'll play out this card, and then, like, okay, you either win right there or you lose right there. And he can be used for that. Like, this character can be used to just close out games, like you saw in the last game. However, there also needs to be a situation, or we're trying to build the deck to where there's a situation where we don't just have to all in, just save this in our hand for the final opportunity where we get to play it down and win it. That is a good thing to have, and a good option to have in the deck. But can we also have an option where we just play this down on tempo because we're ramping to 10 Dawn, and then we get right back in the game in a few turns? You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm building the deck towards. Anyway, I can't wait to mess around with OP09 Purple Black Luffy coming out. Spoiler warning: there's a Purple Black leader Luffy. That will probably be very fun. That's all we're gonna say. All right. Anyway, guys, that's about it for this video. I'm at least going to read through the list real quick, and you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. What can I add for all the red, purple Luffy mains out there? You know, y'all tell me what you think. Like, what should I add to the deck? What do you not like in the deck? Because one thing I will say, actually, let me read through the list. I'll tell you what I want to take out, and we'll go from there. So 4 Namis, 3 Newgates, 3 of the blocker Jinbei, 4 Zoros, the 3 cost, 4 Frankies, 3 of the 10 cost Luffy, 4 of the Sanji, 2K counter blocker, 3 of the Queen, only 2 Eustace Kids, 4 Sanji, the one that can draw cards, and it's a 1K counter. This card's like the perfect combo, by the way, with the 7 cost. It's just so nice. 4 of the 4 cost Zoro. This is now like the new absolute most insane 4 cost in the deck now, or in the in this within this kind of deck type. Then we have 4 of the Luffy's, 4 Rad Beams, 4 Gum Gum Jet Gatling. So real quick, guys, the cards that I would for sure like to mess around with, I would like to go down 1 Luffy. Just right away, I'd like to go down a Luffy. But everything else felt pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know. Maybe I go down 1 Luffy, and I don't even necessarily want to add 1 Captain Kidd. I actually would just maybe rather add maybe another Jinbei because it's another 1K counter. I would like to go up something that has a 1K counter on it. Let me say that. Whether it be a Queen or whether it be Jinbei. The reason I like Jinbei is, number 1, it is searchable with our Zoro and our Nami, and we can cheat Jinbei out with our 7 cost Luffy. So in other words, if we already have the Jinbei in hand and we go searching with our Zoro or our Nami, well, we can snag the Luffy now to do a big tempo play on like the 7 Dawn or 8 Dawn turn or whatever. But yeah, I think the sky's the limits with this deck, guys, and it's only getting more and more support going forward. You know, I think I mentioned this in a previous video. There's a new Jinbei coming out, or excuse me, not Jinbei. There's a new Frankie coming out. It's a 4 cost, 5,000 power blocker. I think it's a 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter blocker with on play Dawn -2, draw 2 cards. I understand it's a Dawn -2, but that is a draw 2 card effect, and it's a blocker. So it kind of just takes the place of Queen in the deck we're trying to mess with. You know what I mean? We'll have to see. I'm not saying they're the exact same, because Dawn -1, draw 2, trash 1 is pretty good. You know, Dawn -1 versus Dawn -2 is crazy, but I do think the Frankie's meant more for the OP09 purple black Luffy, just to give a heads up, because it goes very well with that leader effect. But all right, like I said, guys, that's about it. The only major tuning I want to do right away is just going down 1 Luffy Taru, the one that can cheat out of 5 cost with Dawn -1, because I just feel like, number 1, Eustace Kid is an incredible card here. Oh, and there's one more card I got to mention. I'm sorry, guys. There's one more card I want to mention. Let me see if they released it. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, it's not on this version yet. I know they're still working on adding some of the new cards that are coming out from OP. This is coming out in OP09. There's a new 1 cost purple Law card, and it can search up any Straw Hat crew or Heart Pirates crew character, or it might be any kind of card that's... Okay, let me try and say this. It's hard for me to just remember it off the top of my head, because it has to be a 2 cost or greater Straw Hat crew or Heart Pirates crew card that I can just search up, and it's a 1 cost. It's just like Nami. It's a 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter, and it only searches top 4 though. But it can be a Straw Hats or Heart Pirates card that costs 2 or more. So that might be an excellent include in the near future. Like maybe it even takes the place of these Queens, and then we just go up all the Jinbeis we need. However, at that point, instead of actually, excuse me, what we'd probably have to do at that point, I would want to work in the 4 cost Law at that point, because then we could search him up as well. And this is just an incredible blocker, and I don't want to go down too many blockers. Right now I'm running on 3, 7, 10. 10 blockers is not bad, but I don't want to go much under that for what we're trying to do with this leader. This is a 3 life leader, guys. We got to be very smart. We got to be very, you know, we got to be very careful with how we fix the board. Because if we start losing life too early, man, we're in trouble. We start getting in trouble really quickly. All right, I'm done now, guys. Thank y'all so much for bearing with me like that, you know, dealing with me. Let me go ahead and bring up the patrons, the playmat page first. Thank you. You know, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, whether you're just liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever, right? Anything like that. You're feeding the algorithm. You're helping me out. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to all the playmat supporters over here. I hope you're enjoying your playmat. That thing came out awesome. I've been playing on it quite a bit as well. Excuse me. And then lastly, the patrons page. Big shout out to all the people on the patrons page here for helping me out in the ways you do. You're literally just donating to the channel to help out, and I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate that, guys. Thank y'all so much. All right, as usual, if you got any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put them down in the comment section below. And hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys. Peace.